Good morning, good morning. My name is Rick Noda. I'm here in Encinitas, California. I am your host of T3 Talks and the founder of T3 Body, where we tighten, tactical, and transition. I'm continuing on the series of 06. It is the new year, you guys. Again, not typically because it's still 2019, but what I mean is it's the time to review your plan to see what has worked and what hasn't worked. So in the previous videos on Monday and Tuesday, you guys, what we were able to do is first off, you reviewed your wardrobe, your everyday carry, things that you do to maybe either pare it down, add more to it. You could do this with your meal plan if you decided like you were a vegetarian and now you want to go vegan, whatever that is, you could decide to say, hey, time to kind of spruce it up a little bit. Remember, the word I like to do is be proactive, not reactive. We then talked about writing it down and the importance of doing it in reverse, starting with your sleep hygiene, what keeps your body and your mind on task, and then from there, transferring it to your daily planner. And that daily planner, again, for me, used to be a cheap or inexpensive composition book that I just used that 4-quadrant series. And then if you notice, we use that daily, that passion planner to kind of motivate us now and keep us on task. Now, I just want to kind of, again, touch on that the last thing of the planner. And I'm going random. I don't even know, like right now. So I'm going to flip the page to next week, okay? And I'm going to read the quote that's on there for next week. And you guys, you could tell I live my life 1 week at a time. It's completely blank. Now, listen to the quote, and this is for next week. No great deed is done by feathering who asks for certainty. George Eliot. So what it means is nothing's ever certain. Don't let uncertainty be an excuse not to try something. Challenge yourself to try something you've never done before. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Well, we talked about that in previous things about sense of awareness. You never want to be white and you never want to be black. Bah, you're sheep either way. But that's kind of nice, and I wanted to give you guys kind of like a sneak peek of how profound the book is. No, motherfuckers. What it is just gives you a nice lift of your motivation, you know? It gives you some more perspective. All right, so month 6, what we're talking about today. Now, I am approached all the time because everybody says, oh my God, Rick, you've got no problem talking in front of crowds and people. Oh my God, you know what? You never shut the hell up. Very true. All right. Oh my God, Rick, one of the things that I wish I could do is be like, as outgoing as you and da-da-da. I think that's awesome, you guys. I take those compliments like forever. But one thing that I'm going to have Esteban do for me is put right here, practice. 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 So everything I do, you guys, is I practice. Here's how I practice. Talking current affairs and striking up conversations with complete strangers, you first have to know who you're talking to. That's number 1. So I classify everybody into like 4 little categories. 1, you've got the lion. Raw, what are you doing, dude? I'm good, man. I got everything under control. No problem. That's your lion. The second thing that you have is kind of like me a little bit, a dolphin. Oh my God, shiny object. What's that? You move over to there and you say something from like there. You've got someone like Joanna, which I love to death. She's like an owl, very detailed, very everything. She wants to make sure that, boom, everything's in line. She goes, Rick, this is how much I want. Hoo. Yeah, exactly. That's what she did. Nice. And those are cool. Those are very detailed individuals. Then you have your koala bears. Now, my koala bears are really quiet. They're the people in school that you never knew their names.
She doesn't even go here.
They never got called on, and they were okay with that. They're the people at work that go in at work at 9 o'clock, they leave at 5, they take their lunch at 12, and you never know their name. And you know what? They don't want you to, all right? That's great. So a lot of times I'm approached by my koalas and I'm approached by my owls on how do you talk to people and create conversation. Well, my wife, you guys, is a koala with lion-like tendencies. So this is my wife. What do you want? What do you need? Who says you're funny? Guys, that's Joe Coy. What she does is she puts a very big exterior so that she can kind of fend you away from asking any questions. Those that have met my wife, I romantically call her the Ice Princess, okay? Because what you do with a lion is you put up walls in front of you so no one can affect that. That's okay. But what really is doing is you're trying to be real calm. You're trying to be really kind of like protective so that no one even says hello. Hey, Tom, how you doing? So as that koala, they try to protect themselves. All right. Now I am a dolphin. Shiny object. Oh my God, what's there? With owl-like tendencies, because I want to make sure things are nice and ordered. They don't always have to be in the exact order. There's the dolphin in me, but they've got to be safe and they got to go through. So what do I do on a daily basis on the 6 month out of the year? How to get better? I'm going to tell you I'm a cheap ass right now, okay? And this is the first paper I've probably bought in about 10 years, okay? What I usually do is if I'm at a coffee house, if I'm at someone's home, when I do my in-homes, what I like to do is literally look at the first page of any newspaper. This happens to be the Los Angeles Times, yada, yada, yada. And, and I'll read like the first paragraph of that page. I'll then go to the business section, the entertainment section, the sports section, just like this. And you could, here, and I'll read the big parts of it, okay? I'll read, for example, strong arm tactics for Raw U against. That's about the Anaheim Angels, playing the Seattle Mariners, all right? I'm a sports guy. I have no idea what that means, who that guy is. If I read the paragraph a little bit, I'll figure that out. Why is that important? Because now when I go to talk to someone, I can start with current affairs. Something that someone may have seen on a Facebook post, someone may have seen on their daily newspaper, something like that. It's an icebreaker. Now, what's nice about that icebreaker is that it doesn't have me to be creative. It doesn't have to be whatever, because I'm literally throwing that ball back into that other person's lap. Now, let's say you're like my wife, meaning I'm like, hey, did you hear about the Boeing and how they just went ahead and got some funding? My wife would say, Esteban, no. Now, you can either educate that person or kind of talk to them like, oh, my God, you wouldn't believe it. Boeing just got a new grant. That grant is to, for the first time in 20 years, put out a new airplane. They haven't had a new airplane since the 747. See what I'm saying? Now, that person doesn't care. They're hearing. But you know what? It's better than this. Sometimes, people can't be in that awkward silence. They can't work in that. I love awkward silence. I can just sit in it forever because I know that eventually whoever breaks that awkward silence, I know how to come back or like have overcome an objective or see what that person says. That was a technique we use in Zig Ziglar for sales. But what's nice is, let's say I educate that person about Boeing. We've found that in that education of Boeing, they didn't care about the actual article, but they tell me a story about them either having a good experience or a bad experience flying. There we go. Now we started to get traction. Now, I will tell you this, you guys. I have a little bit of a formula that is one that I took from my public speaking days, is I try to talk to 30 people a day. Think about that. 30 people a day. Okay, when I was in the finance business, that used to be 100, okay, because it was a contact sport, okay, but 30 people a day. So I try to strike up 30 conversations. Hey, man, check out Boeing with 30 people. Out of those 10 of them may engage me in a conversation more than 30 seconds. Let me say that again. 10 people may engage me in a conversation more than 30 seconds. So I may be like, hey, Esteban, did you hear about that new Boeing thing? No. Hey, you know what? It was really cool. They got a grant for some new airplanes. Done. See that? Awesome there. Real quick exchange. I know he's not into me. I'm not into him. Moving on, because now the next number, it's 30, 10, 3. Let's say I'm talking to Esteban, go, hey, dude, you totally check out Dungeons and Dragons, and there is a new version that's coming out. It's version 7.2. So, hey, tell me more about that Salt March. See, so you see what I'm saying? So now I struck it. Now I hit a chord in a good way. That was easy, you guys. That's not on a newspaper. That's a softball. You throw that in there. But what that does is that allows for him to now open up that conversation. Now that's 30-10. Now it goes to 3 because I made a connection. Now we took that 30-second conversation from that 10 individuals, and I was able to actually expand on it for longer. Now, after that, him and I have talked. Maybe after that exchange, I go, hey, Esteban, you know what? I love Dungeons & Dragons. I love to hear about the new version. Why don't we set up coffee, or why don't you come by my studio? And he says,
yeah, sounds great.
There you go. 30, 10, 3, 1. And let's say he says, no, I got 2 other guys to convert. Now, if I go home and I haven't converted anybody and I haven't been able to, guess what? It starts all over. It starts all over. That's Afro Circus. No, but what's nice about that, you guys, is, again, I give you a lot of formulas, right? We talk about the 7 Ps. We talk about SMART. Now you know how I am charismatic. You know how I'm outgoing. It's not something that it's like I'm trying to always think about it. It's dialogue. It's talk tracks. It's a formula. All right? If I get 3 people to talk to me right away and it's the first 3 people, guess what? I keep going. Because when you find gold, you don't just stop, right? They got gold in those hills. You keep going after it, and you go from a little nugget to the actual bar. And that's the goal. That's the beauty of motivation and attraction, So let's reiterate, you guys. Being outgoing isn't something that you're just good at it because you sit and watch TV or be on Facebook. It's something that you must practice. How do you practice with that? You use the same techniques that I've used. You're transitioning the 7 Ps and the SMART into your dialogue talk tracks. What does that mean? Tell me a little bit about yourself. You should know how that works. We all have core values, God, country, family, so you can give yourself a little bit of who you are. The second part is tell them a little bit about what's going on in modern current affairs. You don't have to be a brain surgeon. Go to the Wall Street Journal on your cell phones. Go to the LA Times. Go to the Chicago Tribune, whatever it is, and just skim in case you want to talk to someone. Then the final thing is, again, practicing this in your car. You know what? Yes, practicing in the car, looking at the mirror, and looking how goofy you look when you tell yourself, I'm a father of 3, and you're like, will you shut the fuck up already? My name is Rick. What do you do? Why is that important? I'm a good human. Where are you from? Why is that important? I'm just here. I'm a good human. Tell me about yourself. You know what? Hey, my name is Rick. My name is Scott. That's where we're at. So you guys, it's not super hard to be organized, especially since we're on the 6th month out the year. We're using this new year to get a little bit better. But here's what you notice, right? I'm not talking a lot about watching TV, right, Esteban? I'm not talking about a lot of time of who your social updates are. I'm not talking about updating, what I would say, that useless fantasy baseball league that's really not doing anything except understanding that you think you're going to win $1,000, dude. Here's what I will tell you. Save 15 cents every effing day and you'll save $1,000, dude. But instead of you having the potential to win 1,000, you're not saving it because you're wasting your time, losing time by worrying about who's the lineup for the Padres are today. I think it's a great way, you guys, but you're not putting on the jersey. You're not playing the sport. All right? So when I say our motivation inspires you to be better, you guys, let's make sure that we use this month to tighten up, making sure that we're tactical and that it transitions. Mike Joey's still hot, you guys, from this morning. I am so glad to panic it. Thank you so much. Thanks for checking out our videos. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and hit that button right below. Or if you want to check out the latest video right here over my shoulder, go ahead and click that link. If you want to check us out on our social networks, we're at T3 Body Encinitas. That's T3 Body Encinitas. Or shoot me a quick email at info@T3 Body Encinitas, where our motivation inspires you to be better. See you guys soon.